2018 saw a ton of really awesome Nintendo Switch games be released. A lot of them got a ton of attention. Super Smash Bros., Let's Go Pokemon, Pikachu, and Eevee, just to name a couple there. But there were other releases on Nintendo Switch that maybe didn't get as much shine or only got shine for a little while. So today, I want to talk about some great games from 2018 that just no one seems to be talking about. We are doing end of the year lists. I know a lot of other sites and people, YouTube channels are doing game of the year lists as well. And some of these games that I'm about to mention, I thought were super cool and just aren't really getting mentioned enough. So I figured why not make a video and mention some of my favorites here. So let me know in the comments below what games you think are underappreciated for the year 2018. Don't forget to hit the thumbs up if you enjoy the video and the concept here. But without any further ado, let's go ahead and get started here with Xenoblade Chronicles 2. Torna, the Golden Country. This is a full retail game, which is a prequel to Xenoblade Chronicles 2 that wasn't released this year, but the expansion was. If you had the season pass, you already have the game. You can also buy it standalone for $40. The expansion was released in September, and this one was like super quiet. There is still like 20 plus hours of gameplay here. There is still a really cool story, and if you're into Xenoblade Chronicles 2 at all, who wouldn't want a prequel story where the combat is changed a little bit, the exploration is still super on point and fun. Rex is no longer in the spotlight. In this one, we have Laura and Jin, but we do have some appearances from Mithra here. There are characters that are in the actual main game, but given that this does take place before the Aegis War, 500 years or so, it does give you an entirely new story. For me, one of the cooler things about the Golden Country is that although it is long, you can spend 20 plus hours in the game, it's nowhere near as long as Xenoblade Chronicles 2. So if you are sort of hesitant about jumping into an adventure that big, maybe jump on here beforehand. The combat is going to be a little bit improved. There's some tweaks there. And if you enjoy this prequel, you can go ahead and jump into the full game and then have all the more fun, really. I don't know why this one didn't really get as much love, because I know that Xenoblade Chronicles 2 sold really well on Switch, and that got mentioned a lot in the previous year for Game of the Year stuff. This one just sort of went under the radar, and I'm assuming it's because it's an expansion, but the fact that it's standalone, you can buy it on retail, to me, that counts. Next up, we have Bloodstained, Curse of the Moon for $10. This game is super cheap, and I feel like everybody should absolutely get their hands on it. If you are a fan of old Metroidvania games, Castlevania games, I guess, if we're gonna be way more specific here, you must get your hands on this. It was released in May originally, and it is a really short experience, don't get me wrong, but that's why the price is so low. And this kind of serves as a game to tide us over, because the other Bloodstained game got pushed back into 2019. Originally, it was supposed to come out this year, but Iga is working his magic, and it's taking a little bit longer to stir and make the game as polished as they want it to be. And if it's anything like this, it's going to be super awesome. But it is important to note, this game was made by a completely different studio. It's not the exact same studio that's making the full Bloodstained Ritual of the Night game, but Curse of the Moon is still a super fun experience. You get to play as multiple characters, and the level design, they're all so different. Given that there's not a lot of them, they should be, but the bosses are really fun. The difficulties really kind of right up my alley. It's not too easy, not too difficult, sort of right in the middle, right where I enjoy these things. And for $10, you get a few hours of some really refined gameplay and a nostalgia burger for your taste buds. I didn't even know what to call food. I don't know, nostalgia burger. I don't know if that would taste very good. An old burger. All right. But definitely check out Bloodstained Curse of the Moon if you haven't done so. The game is really cheap, and I highly recommend it. Next on the list is one of the most underrated games, in my opinion. I know not a lot of people agree, but Sushi Striker, Way of the Sushido, is so good for $50. I played this game for the first time on an airplane. I was going to an event of some kind. I forgot where I was going, but it was really good in my hand. Playing handheld is awesome. It has the touchscreen stuff. Yes, it was originally a 3DS game and they brought it over to Switch, but the anime style that they have implemented here for the storytelling and the cutscene is so beautiful. I like anime, so I don't know, maybe that's why it's a little bit more up my alley. But the gameplay is still really satisfying. Given the fact that it's so simple, you're kind of just like swiping and mixing and matching colors, and the battle system that they have here is very unique. Who would have ever thought of having a battle system where you eat sushi and you're throwing plates at your enemies and that's how you damage them? That's like so cool and novel. It's a very vibrant, colorful world, and the story doesn't take itself super seriously. It can be a little bit lengthy. I mean, it is a full price game, almost full price. It's $50. on Switch right now. I'm sure you can maybe find it a little bit cheaper if you go used. If, I don't know, find it at GameStop or something like that. But I can't believe that this game is sort of getting swept under the rug, because when it was released, it got a lot of positive reviews and people were very surprised, like, hey, this thing is way cooler than it appeared it was gonna be. And I was one of the people that enjoyed it quite a bit. I didn't get to finish it just because it came out and there was a lot of other stuff coming out at the time. But maybe this holiday break, I'll finally be able to jump in with the new year and finish this one off, because I had a lot of fun with it. I would recommend waiting to see if there's like a price drop, a sale, something along those lines. Used is something you can definitely do. If you can pick this one up for anywhere between 40 and 30 bucks, I think that's a super, super good deal. Anything below that is a steal. Grab it ASAP. You need to like RPGs and be like into like anime stuff to like it though, so keep that in mind. Next up, we have a game that wasn't even released that long ago. We have Starlink Battle for Atlas, the best Star Fox game to be released in recent memory. And I know that sort of sounds like funny, but it's only half a joke. The game has Star Fox in it, even if you don't buy the like deluxe edition and stuff like that. And we'll get into the prices here in a bit. But this game is like super cool. Having the opportunity to fly around as Star Fox, complete these missions, go from planet to planet. It is an intergalactic adventure, and it's not necessarily made for adults. It does skew a little bit younger since it is Toys to Life and things like that. But when I played it, I didn't touch the Toys to Life stuff at all, and I still had a really good time. Now, let's talk about the price here. The game was expensive, and there were those starter packs that were released, and there are toys to buy, but if you buy it digitally, they have the deluxe edition right now on Switch eShop for half off. Instead of the $80, it's $40. But you can still get it way cheaper. Get it retail if you need to. I think Zach had like sent me a link where the game was like $25, $30, something like that. God, there is a lot there. There was just an update recently that I haven't had the chance to jump into quite yet. But the gameplay itself is really fun. The exploration and the story stuff that's there is all really good, especially if you have younger siblings or kids to play with. This game is like super cool. And look, I hate to say this, but I have a feeling that the toys are going to be like on clearance pretty soon, because it doesn't seem like they're selling that well. So maybe just buy it digitally and then get the toys a little bit later. You can do that. I completely stayed away from the Toys to Life stuff outside of an event where we played it, and it is fun to like be able to mix and match stuff. That's cool. But if you want a more traditional experience, or you had your eye on this one but it was just too expensive, or you thought it was gimmicky, just get the game itself, and you can get it for like super cheap and you'll have an amazing time, I promise. Plus, it would show Ubisoft and Nintendo that we like seeing them do stuff together. Mario plus Rabbids Kingdom Battle, the Star Fox integration, the crossover that they did with this game, really on point. Next up, we have Dragon Ball FighterZ for Nintendo Switch. This game is here alone for one reason, and that is because we willed it into existence, we as an audience. From the very beginning, they said, hey, you want Dragon Ball FighterZ on Nintendo Switch? You gotta go support Dragon Ball Xenoverse. Cool. We went, supported it. A lot of people got it. They brought over Dragon Ball FighterZ. I played it at E3, had a really good time. Played in the beta for Nintendo Switch, had a really good time. I've played it on my own, just on Switch with friends. It's a really good time. The game itself there is so polished. The gameplay is so perfect. It's unfortunate that for some reason it's like not being allowed in fighting tournaments or anything like that. And to me, that's one of the coolest parts of games like this, just seeing professional like fighting game players play them. I don't know what's happening with that, but that's off topic. The game is like full price, and if you can find it used, that would probably really help. But I feel like this one just came and went for Nintendo Switch. People said they wanted it, and then it was out, and yeah, we played it, I guess, but then nobody ever really talked about it again. For me, Dragon Ball FighterZ is such a cool experience. I know Zach doesn't like the game as much as me, but it does have a story mode that you can play through. It still has the online lobby system. It has those modes that came to Nintendo Switch first, where you can do one-on-one. There's a lot in this package, and for me, it's a little bit sad that it kind of came and went and nobody really like talks about it. There are a lot of fighting games on Nintendo Switch, and some are Smash Brothers, some are like 2D. We have Pocket Rumble. There's a lot of stuff to play here. We have Street Fighter. Okay, I could keep naming fighting games. I need to stop. All right. Dragon Ball FighterZ, though, it is one of the most hardcore and beloved fighters right now in the fighting game community. Again, sad that it's not being allowed in tournaments, but I have a feeling that that's going to get worked out pretty soon. I don't know why people don't talk about it enough. And I'm super curious. Let me know in the comments if you're still playing Dragon Ball FighterZ and what you think of the community that's there right now. Last on the list, I want to talk about good old Captain Toad. You guys know how I feel about Toad. It's kind of a running joke here on SwitchForce that I hate Toad. Spoilers, I don't actually hate Toad. He's just not my favorite Nintendo character. But Captain Toad Treasure Tracker was so criminally underrated on Nintendo Switch. The game is super, super cool. And if I'm telling you I think a Toad game was cool, that means it's really cool because I don't like Toad, really. I didn't play it on Wii U. Finally got a chance to play it on Wii. There was a demo. I played the demo and I said, whoa, this is cool. There are smaller levels. You get to go around hunting items in the level, and there's like varying challenges. You can defeat all the enemies to get a start. There's a lot there. And as the levels progress, they get more and more complicated. It's super cool. It's a bite-sized experience for me. I think it fits perfectly for the Nintendo Switch, given that you can get through a level, get every single item and star you need to get in that level, and then just put it down for a bit. The levels aren't that long. Some of the boss fights are really, really cool as well. My expectations were really, really surpassed with Captain Toad's Treasure Tracker. The co-op aspect of the game, which I have tried. I don't play a ton of co-op stuff on Switch, but this one I did have an opportunity to. That is really fun as well. And in my opinion, one of the more criminally underrated experiences on Nintendo Switch. We saw a lot of ports this year, right? We got Hyrule Warriors, we got Donkey Kong. There was a lot there that was on other platforms before, namely the Wii U. And this one in particular, I feel like needs a little bit more shine. I think you can get it a little bit cheaper if you go buy used or, figure it out at retail. But the game is available on eShop. It's $40 as opposed to the $60 traditionally, and it is a smaller experience. That's why it is a little bit more budget. But for me, that's actually a positive with this game because it's not going to take away any of the attention some of the bigger games might have for the platform for me. This is a perfect game to play before bed. That's actually how I ended up playing most of it myself. And let me know if you guys got Captain Toad Treasure Tracker, because we never hear about this game whatsoever, even though it is a quality experience. But there you have it, just a few of my favorite games this year that don't really get mentioned a lot. We have Xenoblade Chronicles 2, Torn of the Golden Country. We have Bloodstained, Curse of the Moon. We have Sushi Striker, Way of the Sushido. We have Starlink, Battle for Atlas. We have Dragon Ball FighterZ and Captain Toad Treasure Tracker, just to recap. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Did you pick up these games? Did you maybe skip over them or forget about them completely? And if you do decide to go get one of these games, one or more of these games because of this video, please let me know because that always warms my heart. So sound off. Don't forget to hit the thumbs up if you enjoyed the video. Subscribe if you're not subscribed. We have a Twitter link in the description. You can follow us there for more shenanigans and giveaways. And that is pretty much it. We appreciate you. I hope you guys have an awesome 2019. It's getting very close to New Year's Eve, New Year's Day around here. So again, I said this before, but have a safe New Year's and stay out of trouble, and we'll catch you on the next one. SwitchForce out.